And then here we see freebirthdaytreats.com, which is another site that lists retailers' promotional birthday gifts like free desserts or coffee and lets consumers sign up all in one place. Access to information on the real fiscal and nutritional story will impact the restaurant and grocery industries as well. Look at this site, theculinaryreview.com. This site does the math for the consumer in two ways, by calculating the calories and the cost on popular Food Network recipes like Tyler Florence's The Ultimate Omelet, which by the way came in at 441 calories and $1.09 per serving. This site is packed with information such as how to cook with quality and inexpensive ingredients and a menu that teaches couples how to eat well on $50 a week. CalorieCount.com provides consumers with full nutritional data for the complete menus of more than 100 popular restaurants. Up here on the screen is data on a popular sandwich from Subway. And not only is the nutritional breakdown provided, the site then gives each dish a nutritional grade and tells the consumers why. So who's doing it right at retail? Well, McDonald's, for one, recognizes the power of consumer-to-consumer communication on the internet. Under pressure as a culprit in childhood obesity, they invited 6 moms to be quality correspondents, to go behind the scenes and view their operation, how they developed their menus, sourced their ingredients. It was all an open book. And then those moms tell it like it is via blogs and other online postings. New York University's experts in the strategic implications of information technology finds that the volume of blog posts featured on the internet before an album's release can significantly affect future album sales and in turn predict sales for the record label. This is the first study to quantify the economic impact of user-generated content for the music industry. A report from shop.org lays out the numbers. Online sales grew 21% to $175 billion last year, and they forecast 17% growth this year to $204 billion. But online shopping experiences vary, even among the high revenue earners. Researchers find many sites don't measure up to the promises made in the About Us description. The drugstore CVS stood out for its unfulfilled promise to make the overall shopping experience as easy as possible. Evaluation of the site returns below average ratings for navigation and product presentation. Amazon.com, the retailer with the highest overall rank, got high marks for customer involvement, such as allowing user-generated product reviews and content. Few other sites permit customer involvement at that kind of level. It's a multi-channel world now, and in order to survive, retailers need to break the habit of seeing each channel as a separate business. Thinking of every aspect of online and offline operations is a huge opportunity, and anything less than a truly integrated shopping experience is simply not going to cut it. Borders rolled out a new concept store in February that focuses on the digital shopper in a bricks-and-mortar store. The new digital center is a focal point on the sales floor, featuring kiosks and stations with options like genealogy services, photo printing via shutabout.com, and the opportunity to burn personal CDs or download music to digital players. The strategy has not only sparked excitement, but also attracts shoppers with a larger inventory. While the size of the music section in store in physical CDs has been reduced, the entire selection of music expanded exponentially. So recognize that consumer-to-consumer communication is the primary use of the internet. Brand growth starts with consumer conversation, so give them something to talk about. Encourage participation with access to tools and applications, and then observe, listen, and learn. Be prepared for a consumer who knows the full story and can quickly compute the ROI factor when it comes to savings, to health, convenience, and green. How might you as a brand help them compute it? We think that's a big opportunity for retailers in terms of utilizing their sales staff to, if not make deals on the selling floor, at least be able to talk in the language that consumers are using online and social networks. So there's consistency between the brick and mortar and online. And it's important to read what's being said about your product or brand on those social media sites and blogs. Find out what people love about your product and communicate it to them at the shelf. So we're already asking ourselves what's next. And for sure, we're really interested in determining just what consumers will actually do versus what they say they will do. And there are a few things we're keeping our eye on to gauge how well consumer behavior will reflect consumer attitudes. The government rebate check is a big one for us. Will the many Americans who said they would save or pay down debt with their rebate check actually do so, or will they go out and buy that large screen TV they've been wanting? Some studies show that 20% of Americans plan to spend the check, 40% said they would pay off bills, and another 20% said they would save it. Now already we're seeing a boost in both April and May sales at Costco and Walmart, and those are being credited to the rebate checks by some analysts. We'll be watching deposits at savings banks to see whether or not the 25-year decline in savings finally reverses. Will the increase in gas prices actually cause a sea change for things like mass transit systems and passenger trains? Our gut is saying that a lot of the attitudes and behaviors around the economy are going to be permanent simply because Americans won't have a choice. So will Americans travel or stay home? Americans said they wouldn't take a summer vacation. So will day trips and staycations increase? And how will that impact tourist destinations and local economies? What will be the impact of the airlines cutting flights to certain cities? And probably not a real immediate measure that we're going to be watching, but we will be looking at U.S. obesity rates. Will the role of personal health, in light of the economy crunch, play a bigger role in terms of obesity? Certainly the bad stuff is cheaper than the good stuff, and while there seems to be a mainstreaming aversion to overconsumption, will Americans choose to do their part by just eating less or by living healthier? And do we embrace green living or green baths? Public support for greater energy exploration is spiking. Compared with just a few months ago, many more Americans are giving higher priority to more energy exploration rather than more conservation. A study in June finds that half of Americans now support drilling in Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, and that's up from 42% in February. While the trends we've discussed today were probably not a big surprise to all of you, the common thread among them is the fact that they've all mainstreamed. Right now, we're just fascinated by how broad and how deep the consumer's understanding is around the economy, their health, and the environment, an understanding that grows in real time thanks to Web 2.0. We're also just getting our heads around how intertwined these trends are with each other. We know consumers will make trade-offs to save money, but what will happen if that trade-off becomes inconvenient? While we know consumers are more aware now of the products that are better for them and the planet, how much of a premium will they be willing to pay for those when they just paid $100 for a fill up at the gas tank? We're obsessed by these mainstream trends because the next logical step beyond awareness and understanding is an impact on behavior, and we all know that the retail space is where true behavior is realized. Great. Well, thank you, everyone. We appreciate your time and attention.